again. It's extraordinary, but I can tell you this, we're now a mere 8.5 hours into this marathon broadcast, and the time lines keep coming, because we're almost at our midnight. But Michael Palin up in the crow's nest, where are you going now?
Well, Gabby, we're going somewhere else I've never been. We're going way out east to the Chatham Islands. They're one of the very first stretches of land to see the sun in the new millennium. And 5.5 hours ago, we saw the inhabitants of these remote islands celebrate the arrival of the millennium. Now children at Rangaika on the islands wait for the sun to rise. The Chatham Islands are separated by 500 miles of sea from the nearest piece of land, so very, very remote. There are only 800 people there, but we can see the sun rising, one of the very first sunrises of the millennium. The ceremony that's taking place here now as the sun rises. An elder of the community, is one of the last direct descendants of the Moriori people, is singing this chant. There's the sunrise over the Chatham Islands. Utterly remote, 800 people, total population. The chant goes on, welcoming the new dawn, signifying the transition of the 2 millenniums. That's why he's holding the hand of a young girl. That's his granddaughter.
New millennium, new generation.
Yeah. So now from the Chatham Islands, with only 800 people, to one of the most populous country in the world, over to Kate 80, 7,000 miles away in Beijing, as China enters the new millennium.
Welcome to Beijing. Welcome to Beijing, to the Millennium Plaza, to an extraordinary scene in front of something called the altar to the century. Not a religious edifice, just the center of China's presentation to the world that it's going to join in this huge celebration. We've seen a torch carried in, which on the stroke of midnight will be lit to welcome the new century, an eternal flame on this altar. There will also be a century bell, which will toll 21 times to welcome the new year. There are thousands of people here. There's just been an address by the President, Jiang Zemin. Now we have cymbals, gongs, flags, there are dragons, there are lanterns. It's a tremendous scene. And we're approaching the countdown. A marvelous scene of color and noise. China, the new year approaches. across China, there are all kinds of celebrations matching this one.
Well, I dare say we'll be trying to match that down here at the Dome in Greenwich at midnight tonight. Certainly with the firework display in London, which we're told is the biggest the world has ever seen and should beat even that very spectacular display from China. It's just after 4 o'clock here. It's official sunset time here in London. The Dome on the peninsula at Greenwich there, you can see. The last sunset of the millennium, and I must say you wouldn't know it because it's one of those London sunsets that's cold and grey, and there's been no sight of the sun. Yesterday there was a brilliant sunshine. Today we've just got a grey light as the lights come on the London buildings, on Canary Wharf over there behind me, and on the Dome itself. I'm actually standing, as ever, on the meridian, 0 degrees longitude. I don't know whether you can see the red line here. It's an imaginary line, but they've drawn it for us here. North, south, east, west, the dividing line. It stretches right up behind me there to the Royal Observatory at the top of the hill with all its telescopes and its clocks, the place, as we've said many times, that marks time for all the world. And out to the west of the country, of course, the sun is dipping as the earth spins round, hurtling us towards midnight. We're looking down now over London to Tower Bridge, where later on this evening the Queen will light the Millennium Beacon, to the Houses of Parliament, to St Paul's Cathedral, floodlit now, and the beginning signs of celebrations here in the city as the lights come on. The river, which will see this huge river of fire, the London Eye, which the Prime Minister will open, but which sadly won't have people aboard it tonight as it turns. But all the way down the River Thames for a quarter of an hour there are going to be spectacular fireworks, and there's going to be this river of fire 200 metres high. So that's here in London. Sunset, though, also over one of the oldest places in Britain, a monument that was first built probably 5,000 years ago. The Circle of Stones, of course, at Stonehenge. Also built to mark time. Not the hours and the minutes as we use them, but as far as people can tell, to mark the years. Every midsummer day in June, when the sun's at its height, it rises in the far northeast, and the first rays strike a stone in the middle of that enclosure. And every time it happened, people observed that a full year had passed. All that, of course, a long time ago. In this millennium, whose end we're marking tonight, there have been changes in these islands that have brought them from a land of pagan belief, a Britain divided by warring tribes and fiefdoms and baronies, to the United Kingdom as we know it today, all in the last 1,000 years. The Normans began it, of course, at the very start of this millennium when they conquered England and then turned their attention to Wales. We're looking down on Cardiff, on the Millennium Stadium there, where tonight 60,000 fans are going to be gathering to hear the Manic Street Preachers